Thank you so much for coming on the show. Welcome back. I know you've played with us before, but now we get to talk to each other.
Yes!
Which I love. Congrats on the new album, by the way, Little Miss Twain. I want to get into this. But first off, what a summer you've had. Yeah, you and Harry Styles. I want to know every detail. Let's get into it. You just performed how many shows with Harry?
12 Wembley shows.
My gosh.
This was such a special invitation. I had a great time. This was, obviously his home city, his home.
That's like 90,000 people a night?
Yep, 90,000 a night.
Holy mackerel.
And so it was just a very exciting, great atmosphere. And
How'd you meet Harry?
I met Harry backstage at a very small show, and we just chatted for a little bit. He was still just getting going. He wasn't the Harry he is now. And, we chatted, we exchanged numbers, and he called me a little bit later and said, it's my mom's birthday coming up. Would you mind, wishing her a happy birthday, because she's the person that introduced me to your music and made it the soundtrack of my youth. So I said, sure, of course, and gave her a call up, sang her happy birthday over the phone, and
yeah, I know he said publicly that he loves you, and then he invited you to get on stage with him at Coachella.
Right, that was very random. It was like, hey, how do you feel about coming to Coachella and singing a couple of songs with me? And
like the same
I'm
Harry,
like, sure.
from the other show.
Right, it was very casual.
You guys hit it off. Look at the matching outfits.
Right.
I mean, yes. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
We look like we coordinated. But we actually did coordinate, but not deliberately. We
Not
did not
that much.
know
That
what
is
each other was
fantastic.
wearing.
That's untoppable. A lot of people were saying that they were like, oh, we heard Shania was invited to Taylor's wedding, but she couldn't go because she had this run with Harry. So I
Yes.
guess it was a little bittersweet.
It was. I mean, I was very honored to be invited to Taylor's wedding, and I will, make a point of, next time I see her, of course, I will give her a big congratulations hug.
She always names you, too, as one of her inspirations as well, of what you've done for
wonderful.
country and pop and music and the crossover. She loves you.
And it's also what she does for songwriting. She's a fabulous performer. She doesn't, I think if you wrote a song for her, it would be a hit no matter what. But she does write her own songs. She sits around at home, plays the piano, plays the guitar. So I admire her musicianship and her commitment to telling her stories.
Yeah.
So I love her. I love everything about her.
She puts the work in. We do
Yeah,
love
she
her.
does.
Yeah. Here we are. Little Miss Twain comes out this Friday. How are you feeling about it now it's about to come out?
So I feel a little bit, the anticipation is really high.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling a little bit like Christmas morning is coming up. And because it's such a big, it's a long, big effort. I write, my own music and everything. So by the time it is ready, it's almost like, and time to share it, it's a gift to be able to know what people think about it. And, that's the gift and the reward for me. So,
We're gonna love it.
Sweet Well, yeah.
There's a lot of great songs on here. Little Miss Twain, what was that? What is that from? What's the inspiration?
So I started singing on live stages when I was 8 years old, and most venues that I would play in were very smoky, small bars, mostly men, mostly intoxicated.
Yeah.
And I was definitely the only child performing.
It's a rough scene.
So yeah, people just started calling me Little Miss Twain, and I would be introduced on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Little Miss Twain. And that always, it struck me more now, looking back and reflecting on the child from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it impacts me more, and I ended up writing, this song. And it's primarily about my mother's roles in my career. Manager, drove me everywhere. Agent, she got me up on every stage she could possibly find, hoping that I would get discovered, which wasn't going to happen until much later in my career, and she would already have passed. So I've lost my mother early on in my life. But Tanya Tucker lives on, and in this song, according to my mother, I'm the next Tanya Tucker, is what I sing.
Yeah.
And my mother's dream was that I would be a childhood star like Tanya Tucker. That would not happen because I was never going to get discovered by a record executive in Timmins, Ontario, which is very, very far north.
Yeah.
But she put the dream out there, and I brought Tanya Tucker in the studio, and she sang with me on this record.
Come on.
So,
Come on, Mom! She's taking
Exactly.
care of you. She's looking over you. She's taking care of you.
it was so full circle. And yeah, so my mother put it out there, and then it just happened in a different way, but it still happened. And Tanya Tucker, hearing her sing her own name back was very surreal.
Legend. Here's a picture of Little Miss Twain performing, by the way, at 10 years old. You already got the spark there. Oh my gosh. You have a lot going on. I know there's talk of a musical, there's talk of a biopic about you.
Yeah.
It's all real. It's all happening.
It's all real, it's all happening. A lot of these things have been in the works for a while.
Who do you think will play Shania Twain in the biopic?
I have two thoughts,
Ooh.
but I don't want to put it out there because
Yes.
it might jinx it.
Okay.
Like, what if I put it out there and
Yeah,
then
it
this
doesn't happen. Yeah. Okay.
Right. And this person goes, well, I don't want to.
It's gonna be a
I don't
juicy
wanna play
role,
Shania
though. It's gonna be
Twain.
good.
It's going to be a very juicy role. This is the story of my life. Includes a lot of what I've written about on this album, and it's been a very dynamic life. A lot of ups and downs, and I'm excited about sharing it.
The song you're performing tonight is called Dirty Rosie.
Yeah.
What is Dirty Rosie about?
Well, Dirty Rosie, just like in that little photo you just showed.
Yeah.
At 10 years old, I learned how to drive because we had a family. You know, we used to work in the woods. We were
Learned how to drive at 10 years old?
Yes, because we were. This is out of necessity. So we were woodsmen, and all of our work, my parents' work, was out in the woods, and they always needed extra drivers. So it's like, get in there. And my dad was a hunter as well, so he's like, okay, you drive, and I'll watch. I'll look out for the moose. He's got the rifle. He's like,
Moose.
so he scouts for the moose, and I drive. And yeah, so I learned how to drive at 10. It was very useful. I felt very empowered and very grown up. And I wrote a song. Now, me reflecting back on that old truck, it was a red truck that was faded and old, and it was, looked great for a work truck. And I actually value that now. We never could afford new vehicles when I was a kid. And now, if I had a choice of having a faded old red work truck, her name would be Dirty Rosie.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. See, I cannot wait to hear it. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. Shania Twain, everybody. Little Miss Twain is out this Friday. We'll be right back with more Tonight Show. Come on back.